Tass is being held prisoner.
Krome Studios today has grown into one of the largest independent developers in the world. Predominantly we're a console developer, specialising in third-person character action games. We support all the major platforms, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 and the Wii. And we still do some work in the last generation consoles as well.
We used to sing at Christmas times where a couple of us would go off and we do small projects. You know, just like you spend a week going off, and I think it's like the old demo scene of gaming where you just go crazy for the week, make a lot of stuff up, make little games. And this one Christmas, we'd heard that Sony was doing a new mascot game.
And at this point we thought, you know, kids sort of platform games were never going to be made again. The PlayStation 2 was getting more serious.
And you know, we were just joking around one afternoon about talking about, well, what would you do for a mascot character? Well, you know, I think we said, well, Tasmanian Tiger, because that was Australian and no one had really done that.
And of course we're big fans of Mario, and Super Mario had come out with the Nintendo 64. So we thought we want to have sort of a mechanic like you could, you know, do something like long-term attack, do a short-term attack, and we go if you could glide. And Matt Ditton, one of our artists, said you should have boomerangs. So that was kind of how it all condensed in really quickly with, you know, 6 people sitting around, having a fun time and talking. And the next thing was Steve went home and, being the concept artist and the art director, created this really cool sketch. And it's exactly as Ty is now, except he had extra flowers in his board shorts, little daisies, along with the sun motif, and he had sneakers. And we looked at the sneakers and thought, that looks like Sonic the Hedgehog, so we'll lose the sneakers and lose the little daisy flowers.
After Christmas, we had a basic demo of Ty running around a swamp. There, he was throwing around his boomerangs and they were coming back and he was collecting opals. We were looking at that, just going, this is pretty cool.
I think the series has sold well over 2 million units to date, which is unprecedented for an Australian game. And it did really well in North America. I think we really hit that sweet spot with the success of Steve Irwin. The fact that Americans love Australianism, they love Australians.
It's a shocker out there. Frills have breached the Northern River. Sly, Shazza, I'm going to need your help.
In the very first demo we made over Christmas, it was set in mangroves. What was interesting, we had crabs, like mud crabs, and we had some frill lizards in that environment. And when we showed it to Americans, they wanted to see crocodiles, and that was the sort of thing they wanted to see. So we had to realise that the Americans view Australians through a very different set of eyes.
Hi, mate. You took your time. The little country town of Currawong is under attack. What muck would want to do this?
Part of my job was, you know, educating the American publishers and actually worldwide publishers about the characters and about the fiction and about Australia the country.
On you, mate, you did it.
Just reinforcing the culture of the country and getting them, you know, to buy into our version of what that was.
So we drew inspiration for a lot of our characters from Australian pop culture. We created Julius, who was based on Professor Julius Sumner Miller.
Why is this so? It's quite simple, really.
Murray, who was basically a cockatoo, and we based him on Maury Fields, a great Australian actor. And what was great for us was having these really cool actors and actresses who, you know, we've seen on TV coming in and being excited about working on a video game. We had a great actor called Terry Gill. He basically channeled Maury Fields in his delivery of the lines.
They're as rare as hen's teeth, mate.
So we created these great characters that, you know, hadn't been seen in Australian games before, and you know, it was an IP that we owned.
In owning an original IP like Ty, you know, it gives you a lot of power over what you get to invest in. I mean, you get to make the decisions from a creative side. You get to put your heart and soul into something that you own and believe in.
When we started Krome, also, there was the idea of doing 2 streams, original titles, like Ty, and our licenses. On the license front, we did games like Goofy Skateboarding with Disney, which you can still play Disneyland. We did 2 Barbie games, Beach Vacation and Ice Spectacular.
You know, most recently we've done Hellboy movies, King Arthur movies, and last year, you know, we worked on the 2 Star Wars franchises. And one of the things for Krome, which I think has been one of our successes, is before we take any project on, all the team gets to vote on it, they all get to buy in, and I think that makes for a much better game than just having to put a product out the door. I don't think people really understand how big an industry the games industry is. I think last year, game sales are about equivalent to what box office sales are with the film industry. I think it's just going to take time and education for the community as a whole to understand that there's a career and there's a future in the game space, just like there is in any other industry.